जय श्री माता जी। हम सभी श्री माता जी के चरणों पर नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे। तीन महामंत्र और श्री गणेश मंत्र। अब हम संतुलन करेंगे। हमारा बायां हाथ श्री माता जी के सामने और दाहिना हाथ भूतत्व पर रखेंगे। प्रार्थना करेंगे। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपया हमारे ईड़ा नाड़ी के सारे दोष भूतत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपया हमारी शुद्ध इच्छा शक्ति के आड़ आने वाले सारे दोष भूतत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। अब हमारा दाहिना हाथ श्री माता जी के सामने रखेंगे और बायां हाथ आकाश तत्व की ओर करेंगे। प्रार्थना करेंगे। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपया हमारे पिंगला नाड़ी के सारे दोष आकाश तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपया हमारे अंदर के कर्ता भाव के सारे दोष आकाश तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। अब दोनों हाथ श्री माता जी के सामने रखेंगे। हमारा संपूर्ण चित्त सहस्त्रार पर स्थिर करेंगे। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी के प्रति अपने प्रेम भाव को हम हमारे हृदय में अनुभव करते हुए थोड़ी देर ध्यान में रहेंगे। इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में संपूर्ण समर्पित भाव से हम श्री माता जी की अमृतवाणी ग्रहण करेंगे। उसके पश्चात थोड़ी देर ध्यान में रहेंगे।
I want to first tell you about Gandhiji and why Gandhi Bhavan is so important. Perhaps you have never realized What a tremendous instrument Gandhiji was. At the age of 7 years, he just picked me up from my family. And I stayed with him very, very close, extremely close. And he used to call me as Nepali. That was my name. And everybody knew me by that name. After 40 years, or say 45 years or so, suddenly I met Kamal Nayan Bajaj in the wedding of his own son. And I went to him and I said, "You recognize me?" He said, "What? Nepali? How are you here?" And just tears started rolling down my eyes. That was Gandhiji. He was a tremendous hard taskmaster. And I always used to say that you can be hard with you, but how can you be hard with all these people? He would make us get up at 4 o'clock. It was very easy for me to get up at 4 because, you see, my body has no habits. I can get up any time and sleep any time. But I used to feel for others that he would make even Maulana Azad get up at 4 o'clock. And they had to clean their utensils, they had to even, the ashramites had to clean the bathrooms and the latrine sink and everything with their own hands. He was a tremendous hard taskmaster, but an extremely loving and compassionate person. He, as just now, Gregor has said, definitely he always used to talk to me in a way as if I was his grandmother. See? And he used to discuss things with me, most surprisingly, to all others, in a way as if I was a great advisor to everyone. He would make me sit, and he said that guidance can be had better from some children than from the older people. Even when I again went to Gandhi Ashram this time, Madasa went told me the same thing. Do you remember? He used to say so. I said, I remember that. But somehow he had recognized me. I think he knew about me. The same I would say about Shastriji, who had recognized me and who is to really respect. That's another man we have not been able to know. I wish there were some people somewhere near their levels. There were people who were absolutely standing on the edges of souls. They would not tolerate anything that was wrong for themselves. First thing they had was to keep themselves upright in Dharma. And Gandhiji used to really face himself day to day and ask questions. Is it in Dharma I'm doing? Is it in Dharma I'm doing? Is it in love I'm doing? He was a tremendous personality. And the thing that I have learned from him, I should say, was one of the things which I could never have understood otherwise, is his sense of public money. Actually, I have no sense of money at all. I'm so horrid. I do not know what is bank and I do not know how to cash a check. I'm still, though, I mean, must have cashed lots of checks, but I don't know how to do it. Even today, if you want to teach me, I just can't learn. I'm no good for it. But I've seen Gandhiji's sense of public money was so keen, and so sharp that anybody who has lived with him, I cannot understand how can they take to this kind of cheap dealing with public money. Once we had a meeting of all the big leaders and they came to Gandhi Ashram where we all girls were staying and some boys were there looking after them, giving them pamphlets and things. And suddenly Gandhiji realized that it's very late and they should have their lunch in the ashram itself. So he said that why not have your lunch here? They said, all right, if you think so, we'll have our lunch. So he got up. He always had the bhandara keys with him because Ba was not there. So he came down and he told us that let us weigh food for them and take it out. So then we had to weigh according to the number of people who were there. He said, I am a pakka baniya. You must properly weigh everything and take it out. And then he took about 15 minutes to do all that. Then again he took the keys, put it back and went down with his work. I think it was Maulana Azad or someone who was there, who said, Bapu, I never knew that we never knew that we put to so much trouble for our sakes. We would have gone back a little late and had our lunch. He said, trouble? What trouble is what? He said, no, the way you got up, you had to take away. You are so cautious and careful about it. You know, the words he said, even today to say it, I feel so much touched. He said, you know, this is the blood of my people. I cannot allow it to be wasted or in any way spilled. Just imagine, he said, ये दाने दाने मेरे बच्चों के घर से आए. I mean, I cannot forget his sense of honesty. And even I have seen this with Shastri, the same thing. I mean, there was nothing like a double standard. On the contrary, the closer you went to them, you respected them much more. Because they're so clean inside, so clean. And they saw to it that they maintained that cleanliness and that style. We are really very lucky to have such great people born in this country of ours. Only the trouble is that we have forgotten what great contribution they have done. That Gandhiji was a person who came on this earth to save us from this foreign domination. In such a unique manner, he laid down the basis for Sahaja, actually. In every way he laid down. For example, if you see his ideas, economic ideas, are absolutely in tune with Sahaja. Now, after the industrial evolution and industrial revolution, as they call it, in the West, people have gone so far in creating aggressive economy that they are astounded the way now things are working out in those countries. The aggression that started with the industry, with the machinery, is now directed towards the human beings themselves. In England, you'll be amazed, which is the soberest country among all of them. In England, every week 2 children are killed by their parents, is the statistics. Can you imagine? Good children, they are not illegitimate children. No family is safe from this aggression. The aggression is now towards oneself is absolutely self-destroying. The machinery, the giant that started creating things also made human beings machines. And these machines had no feelings within them, and the feelings started drying up to such an extent that human beings have become feelingless. They have no emotions left. I don't know if Gandhiji could have sensed to that extent, because it is difficult for a saint to see the forces of evil, how far they can harm. It's a very difficult thing. But he did see something of it, so he was warning that don't go in for heavy industries. Heavy industries are very dangerous, and he throughout preached that try to keep medium pace in industries. With all this advancement in the West, you will be surprised. The condition is such that you cannot get anything fresh. The food that you get is nothing but God knows what kind of a chemistry they have adopted, that all the time you feel you are eating chemicals. You do not feel you are eating any food. If you talk to people, you feel they are stunned and they are shocked. They are afraid of each other. There is no love. There is no trust. There is no give and take. It's such a ridiculously absurd society that has been created that it is important for us, the so-called developing countries, to look where have they fallen, to what ditches they have fallen, and stand by and see for yourself that when you are trying to use science and use these industrial achievements of other countries as a tool to our advancement, you should know that they can completely destroy us as they have destroyed those people. The destruction is not from outside so much. Of course it is in a way, the way we have created Hiroshima and all that. But the destruction is from within. And that destruction is setting in such a big way that it's impossible now to stop. Only way is to turn the whole thing into a new dimension by which you can control it. And that is only possible through Sahaja. Thank God my husband was elected and I went to London, that we have now a base. Gandhiji is the man who has created base for dharma in this country of modern times. If you see his bhajanavali, you'll be amazed. It is all based on the different chakras, one after another. All that bhajanavali we start from one to another is just like how we do it for our Kundalini awakening. It is based one after another from one chakra to another chakra to another chakra, though he has not mentioned any Kundalini. Apart from that, in Sahaja Yoga, we have to take account of all the incarnations, of all the prophets, of all the great primordial masters who came on this earth and adjust accordingly the different movements of the Kundalini. Because according to Sahaja, all these incarnations are within us and they help us and we have to awaken. Same thing Gandhiji has done is to tell us that we have to know Quran, we have to know Bible, we have to know Gita, we have to know all these great scriptures and great people and integrate. Of course, that part is left to me, is the actualization of what he wanted to do. Though he definitely has prepared the base, economic base, then political base also. He never believed in aggression, never. And he said that sharing should be brought. He always believed even capitalism should be conquered through enlightenment. Though he was so busy with this emergency job of saving the whole nation that he could not pay much attention to the subtler side of Sahaja Yoga, which I call awakening of the Kundalini of self-realization. But he always talked about it. He always said about it. Most surprising, he is the only one I have seen so far who was not doing self-realization or working out self-realization, but was so close to it and could see clearly that self-realization is the only way for emancipation of human beings. His values and his styles were so correct. As a mother, also I was a child, but I was a mother throughout. And I would always feel that Gandhiji was a little too strict with me. And I always used to say that you are too strict, I just can't bear it. And tears used to come into my eyes. I said, this is a bit too much. He said, no, we are in emergency. We have to be disciplined. We have to be disciplined. And we have to tell them. So, once I told him, Bapu, if you want to discipline people, why not get them disciplined from within? He said, how to get to their place? I said, it is very easy. You can do it. He said, not just now. Not just now. First of all, let us be free. If you are not free, what can we enjoy? We cannot talk about it. People will say that we are not even free. How can we talk of freedom of spirit? We should be free from the foreign domination. I would say, in emergency, supposing we use a boat to cross over, then we do not carry the boat on our heads, but we do carry the experiences of our crossing, and those experiences are very great. And the greatness about Gandhiji was that he created great only by his personal character and by his dynamic, absolutely dynamic leadership. And the era when this has happened, I have seen those people were absolutely legendary. You cannot believe how sacrificing they were. I have seen my own father, that today I think he was a legendary man, if I tell you how great he was. I mean, every way, I cannot find a single fault in his life as a leader. But today it's very different and very sad that those who were supposed to be Gandhiji's followers. The other day only I talked to somebody that why not start with a basic education, because we don't live in the cities. Why should we have this education which doesn't go to the villages? So he said that very difficult, it's a very difficult proposition and all that. I was amazed. He was a Gandhian. How could he talk like that? It is not at all difficult to adopt Gandhiji's ways in India. As Ragor has told you, I have been to China, and Mao has definitely followed Gandhiji. He has copied everything that Gandhiji has done. I was amazed because when I was there, I saw even Magan Chula being practiced by him. All the things that Gandhiji thought of, he has done, and he has improved China. And today, China is like a tiger. People are afraid. You see, this tiger has now awakened. Now, what is it going to do? It has got its own power, And this is what Gandhiji had dreamt. Imagine that Mao should use it, and while our people, I don't know, I should blame the bureaucrats or the congressmen or the politicians who never understood that Gandhiji was the most practical man. And now Sahaja, I'm sure, will re-establish his values. Definitely, it has to be established. Too much of asking, too much of elaborations, too much of materialism makes you a slave of materialism. You'll be amazed. We are supposed to be poor people. We are supposed to, but we are not. In London or in America, American people are such miserly people that I'm really shocked. Absolutely shockingly misers. To spend 5 rupees for us is nothing for somebody who comes to our house or something. But Americans are such miserly people that even if they have to spend 1 rupee, they'll think 10 times. Same in England, I find, and same in other places. Terribly miserly calculating people. I have known some people, if you go to their house, they'll count heads and give you sandwiches accordingly. Horrid. And they are very rich people. They'll have crystals, they'll have silvers, they'll have everything. And they behave in such a ridiculous manner. All the time they're thinking about money, how to make this money, how to make that money, how to keep it. You cannot imagine this affluence so-called has made them so poor, absolutely absurd. I always felt maybe that through this material gains, they might become sort of satisfied people and would take to less materialism. But it's not so. It's just the opposite. People have taken to materialism as a religion. And it is so maddening that you can't imagine. You are judged absolutely by the materialistic ideas you have, the values. It is such a mad world that if you stay there, then only you will realize how maddening they are. So as a result, these people that are here, you can see them, they revolted. They could not bear it anymore. They said, we'll get out of it. But still the clutches of materialism are so great that they have to live with them, and they find it very difficult. Only through Sahaja, they have been able to establish themselves fully and steady themselves. I would say these are the great pioneers who will change the whole of West. They are the foundations of tomorrow's beautiful West. Otherwise, West is now a wasteland. Nothing but a wasteland, I can tell you. I hope these people will take to Sahaja Yoga in the right earnest and would spread the message of Sahaja Yoga and would create that atmosphere, as just now Dr. Pant was saying, the beautifying, the transforming atmosphere. In all these Western countries, run about, work it out, and bring the dawn of a new world in which we all live together as human beings and as real brothers and sisters. Sahaja Yoga has done a great service to humanity, that it has given you Antar Yoga within yourself. It has given you Antar Yoga between the Sahaja Yogis. And it is so great that some of these people have been before in India many a times. They have never been able to come close to Indians because all the Indians, those whom they met, were all westernized without detail. They had the same ideas, the same philosophy, the same everything. And they were enamored by the West. And they were just praising the Western culture and Western thing. For the first time, they say, when they have come now, they went to Indian villages, and the way they hugged them and embraced all these villagers, and the way they danced together, and the way they enjoyed, this is the real Antar Yoga, the real love between all of them, the real enjoyment and the real oneness that one feels. It is not just talking or saying of ideal things that we are brothers and sisters, and the UN is saying that you are all brothers and sisters, and nothing of that exists. You just become, is the actualization. You cannot just help it helping another person. For example, now, if I am sitting here and if I say that I have to cure you, I am doing no good. I am not doing it for any obligation. I am doing it because you are part and parcel of my life. I have to jolly well cure you if I want to feel all. I can feel you within myself. This is the actualization of collective consciousness. And once that happens, you just start feeling the oneness. And today I am going to talk about collective consciousness to you through Sahaja Yoga, how we get it. It's an actualization, not brainwashing or lecture. This is the difference between the way people have been talking. We talk before it happens, but now the time has come this to happen.
जय श्री माता जी। श्री माता जी, आपके चरणों में हमारा चित्त सदा समर्पित रहे, यही प्रार्थना करते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आज आपने हम सभी से सामूहिकता में ध्यान करवा लिया, इसलिए आपको कोटि कोटि प्रणाम, कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद। हम सभी श्री माता जी के चरणों पर नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे। जय श्री माता जी।